good morning, Veterans Council Veterans, Facebook fan likes, and YouTube subscribers. This is your host, Tony Williams from Veterans Council Veterans, doing our weekly update ending on the 21st of August. And I tell you something, I've been kind of busy. I was just in Tampa not too long ago. Got a chance to meet some friends, just like that, a little gambling, whatever. And now I'm back, so I can give you a good update. This update to me is going to be really interesting. And while I was in Tampa, I actually got a chance to meet a good friend of mine, and I'll introduce you right now. We got cut off. We got a little technical difficulties. I'm back, you guys. Those guys who hung by. We got cut off. We got a little technical difficulties. I'm back, you guys. Those guys who hung by me. I'm glad you guys hung in there again. We had a little technical difficulties. Maybe if I get some more donations, I can get better service. But until then, we're gonna work it. We're gonna adapt and overcome. So one of the things I want to send to you is that I was in Tampa, and I ran into a good friend of mine in Tampa, and I want you to get a chance to see what happened when we finally met. Hold on one second. Okay, this is like your SOF missions. Okay, finally. Dr. Damon?
Oh, hey, how are you?
Hey, man. I can't believe it. How you doing? Hey, I'm doing fine.
Oh, man, how fortuitous. I was just drinking a Veterans Council.
That's
so amazing.
That's collaboration.
Yeah.
I came here because I really wanted you to sign my book. I came all the way from Atlanta.
Are you kidding me? You're coming from Atlanta? Of course. I would love to. Yeah. Oh, man, that's so awesome. I really appreciate it.
I appreciate being here.
Oh, man, I'm going to sign this. Tony, you're so awesome. Tony, my brother from another mother.
Great.
Be bold. Be courageous. And that comes from Joshua, man. 1:9. Thanks, man. I really appreciate it.
Here. You signed my book. Mission accomplished. Igniting movements. Get it when you get a chance.
Thanks, buddy. I appreciate it.
Yeah, so I was in Tampa, and I got a chance to go to the Shields of Faith SOF Missions headquarters to get my book, as you guys see. And here's the book right here, Ignited Movements. And here's a sign page by Damon. Damon's a great guy. He's actually, a Christian. He's a true believer. He's a true patriot. And we're going to try to get together and create a Veterans Coalition for Florida, where we're going to involve more of us who are really more concerned about providing resources and not just providing, but making people aware of the resources that are out there. And Damon's really good about doing that, and hopefully get a chance to get this book here, and we can keep moving. So I just want to make sure we got a chance to see Damon in there as we keep moving on. Also, before we come out, you guys know on the 24th of August, coming up real quick at 4 o'clock Eastern time on Zoom, and I'll send information about Zoom on the link after this. We're going to have two sexual assault and response coordinators on, so we can ask them questions about what exactly is a SHARP program and the SARC program. What's the difference? And we're going to also, we're going to ask tough questions. Please ask tough questions. I talked to these two ladies, and they said, bring it on. So let's bring it on so we can find out what exactly is going on when it comes to sexual harassment and assault in the military. And something's got to happen. And I tell you what, Veterans Council Veterans going to make sure we're behind whatever needs to be done to get that done. So I want to get a chance to show one of the promo we have for this podcast on Monday, 4 p.m. on Zoom or in Facebook Live. There you go. Sexual assault, sexual harassment. That's something that's really been going on it was even going on when I was in the military, but I didn't know much about it because I was in the command structure, and a lot of things happen down at the junior NCO level, and you just don't know until you know. So commanders out there, I'm telling you guys who are commanders, future commanders, you got to know what's going on with your soldiers. You got to know what's going on. And I want to keep the conversation going on for the next couple of days about sexual harassment, sexual assault in the military, and what we can do about it. And before I want to sit there and I want to introduce you a special guest. My special guest was a sergeant in the Army, twice deployed, combat veteran, and also was a sergeant. And I want to ask her some of that, some insights on what exactly her thoughts are when it comes to sexual harassment and sexual assault in the military. And to no further ado, I want to bring on Jessica Renee Davis. She goes by Renee Davis, and even more importantly, she's my niece. So there's a little personal matter when it comes to that. So Renee, welcome to our podcast.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate you reaching out to me to talk about a subject that is near and dear to my heart, even though I'm no longer in the service. So I definitely appreciate it.
Thank you, Renee. And I remember when I talked to you about this, and I asked you, I said, hey, so Renee, did sexual harassment go on for that? And it really brought it home to me when you told me, yeah, Unc. It's happening. I said, wow, that's how much I don't know. And when it's somebody it really brings it home. So give us, let's give us some of the things you may have witnessed when you as an NCO, and then we're going to talk about what happened with Vanessa. So tell us what you saw when you were in the Army.
Well, when I was in the service, unfortunately, I seen this early on in my career. When I was in AIT, which is Advanced Individual Training, it was the first time that I experienced not only sexual harassment, but sexual assault. And it was very alarming because when I first joined, I took everything that I was told and taught very seriously. So to end up in a situation where those that were supposed to lead me and those that I was supposed to trust were the violators, it was very disheartening. But at the same time, it made me very determined to be the type of leader that had zero tolerance for it. I think one of the major issues when it comes to MST and sexual assault and stuff like that in the military is it needs to be taken more seriously. They kind of got a cap on it when I departed in 2013. They were more on top of it. It wasn't any blatant sexual harassment. And it was in the workplace, it kind of switched up the environment. When I first joined in 2001, I was sexually harassed almost every day in my career. But as the SHARP program came into place and stuff like that, it started to subside, but it still was present. There were a lot of inappropriate jokes, inappropriate situations. And as a female soldier, at times, I felt like I needed to participate to a certain extent to feel like I belonged. And this is when I was a junior soldier, but I still stood up for myself, but there were a lot of soldiers and a lot of people, I think, that join the military that aren't really prepared for that, and it can make it go awry. One of the things I think, like you were saying, as the command team, you're kind of distanced from what's going on with the junior enlisted, but I feel like it should be more on the commanders, because commanders have to have a no tolerance, and it has to be something that they lead with. So the troops under them don't feel comfortable behaving that way. I think that's very important that they put more of it on the command team so they can brief that, like, hey, I'm your commander. A lot of times the people come in, they have to get a briefing from the first sergeant and the commander. This should be part of their briefing. Hey, there's no tolerance here. If you do it, we're going to be on you. It's none of that hee hee ha ha that goes on behind closed doors.
This is real deal because we're family. Why didn't you never tell me I was still active duty when you were in? So why didn't you tell me?
I'm not really sure. I could probably say I never thought about it, and I felt like once I probably felt more comfortable to talk to you about it, I felt like it was under control. It was kind of the past. I know I became the type of leader that was there for soldiers that needed to report things like that. I supported them. A lot of times in the military, you find people picking a side. They either believe the victim or they're on the side of the accused, and it can cause a lot of static and separation in the ranks. But I don't know. I never thought I didn't tell anybody, to be honest, for a while, until I felt like I had to for those that were coming up in the ranks under me. So I didn't really tell anyone. It was kind of like I think I felt at a point, well, this is part of the military, so who's there to tell?
And that's pretty powerful, because you came from a family of military. You got, dad,
right.
He retired from the military. Matter of fact, he was a drill sergeant. And,
right.
And then mom was almost like a mini drill sergeant.
Yeah, she was.
Then you have me, and then you have your mom, Robin. Right. She's in the military too. So all of that, and you still, it's still it's not as people think it is. It's not easy to tell people, even in your family.
Right.
So you can kind of, I guess, relate to what Specialist Gillum was kind of going through when she didn't know her chain of command. Let's talk about Specialist Gillum and Fort Hood and what you've read and everything else. I just want to get your honest opinion. What went through your mind?
When I read about, I'm sorry.
Go ahead. What went through your mind when you read about this?
When I read about it and saw it, honestly, the first thing that went in my mind or came to my mind was, where was her leadership? I know that when I was in the service and the type of leader that I was, I knew where my soldiers, or at least I felt secure to say I knew where my soldiers were at all times. And we never just did things. For her to be there on her day off, her squad leader, which I hear her perpetrator would be there, that would make sense. But I asked, like, where was the platoon sergeant? Did he know that they were there? Why wouldn't he know something like that? My soldiers, I always let them know what's going on. If Sergeant Major calls you and say, do a detail, you need to let Sergeant Davis know that Sergeant Major said you had a detail. You didn't just go running off into the sunset because Sergeant Major said so. So I feel like there maybe was a lack in communication. And also, if the soldier was there and her squad leader was there, not only was the platoon sergeant supposed to know, the first sergeant should have been made aware of that. When I was in the service, if soldiers, junior enlisted, job wasn't complete, that means their leadership failed in some way or didn't do their job to the standard. So that means the soldier was there, their squad leader was there, platoon sergeant and first sergeant. If not there, there was some senior NCO that held a formation. Hey, who's supposed to be here? Everybody's here. Okay, we're going to check in again. It was a lot of more accountability of soldiers. And I'm not sure if that was because it was around wartime, because, wartime, hey, who's sick, who can't go, who got boots on the ground. It's more, where is everybody? So that might have been, I don't know if they become a little slack on accountability of soldiers, but to me, I was like, what's going on in the military that a soldier can disappear and it's okay? Where is the leadership? That's how I felt about it.
Yeah, and hopefully they got a 5-person panel went out there to do some investigation, and their investigation is kind of broad. It's not just on sexual assault and harassment, but also the diversity and include all that. And I just saw today, was it yesterday? Another soldier went missing. So what do you think about some of the argument I hear out there that are talking about close down Fort Hood? What do you think about that? Is that a solution?
I don't know if closing down Fort Hood is a solution. I think that sometimes it's easier to say things, but the people don't take into consideration the logistics of it. Like, okay, close down Fort Hood. Okay, so now you have all of these soldiers. So now we have to redisperse them into different places. It's not just like close it down and then the next day everything's good. It's a lot of legwork that comes with closing down a post. I don't think that closing down this particular post is going to stop sexual harassment and assault from happening over the entire military. I think that the entire military just has to take it more seriously, and it's not a joke. This is people's lives. This is people's livelihood. So it has to be taken more seriously. And something else that I think should happen, just thinking about it, and I don't want to forget, when someone reports that someone in their chain of command or someone in their unit has done something to them, that soldier should be moved. They should not have to continue to work with the person that they said violate them and see them every day. If even just looking over in the other platoon, it's really not fair. And like I said, everybody picks a side. And that's another thing. When someone makes this complaint, the chain of command needs to keep their mouth shut. There's no reason why I should know that specialist so-and-so and staff so-and-so got something going on. why is that my business unless it affects me directly? So I think that people need to just have more accountability of their soldiers. They need to keep their mouth shut, and they need to take it a lot more seriously and project that to the people that they're leading.
Thank you, and I hope I'm almost sure you'll be part of that. You're going to be on that. You're going to listen to our podcast on the 24th of August, 4 p.m. Zoom. I'll make sure you get the Zoom link as well, and ask some questions. And between now and then, ask some questions. We want to get some really substantial questions, not crazy questions, but real questions. We can get to the part of that. I know you got a lot of recommendations. And you're very insightful, and I really appreciate it. And hopefully, I look forward to that on 24th. We'll get a chance to, matter of fact, we'll have you as another guest as far as some other thing as well. I know before we get off, you're involved in a protest in Delaware. Tell us real quick.
Oh yeah, well, one of the things I protest against, just police brutality and unfair judicial system. But we also do love rallies, which we go in our own neighborhoods that might be somewhere an area of high crime and things like that, and we go there and we just talk to the people. It's around voting time, so we talk about voting, show them how to register to vote, and we just talk about put the gun down, choose love instead, conflict resolution, just building up everything and emphasizing that we have to cater to our children and build them up and make them better than us. That is the whole thing about being here as an adult when there's children around, is to make them better than us. Even if it's something small, you just went to high school and they made it to college. That's an accomplishment. We have to pay more attention to our youth and realize that they're paying full attention to us.
Yeah, you're right. Our youth is our future, and we got to invest in them as well. Not just the stopping the police brutality, which is definitely a big thing, but also making sure that we act right too, so we can have that. We can be more vocal when we say, "Hey, you're wrong." Do something wrong. So I appreciate that. That's a military leadership that's still within your bones. Now you're trying to use that same influence to influence the community. I appreciate that, and I respect that, and I love you. So
thank you. I love you too.
So this is I'll see you later on when I head to Jersey in a couple of days, and you be safe out there. Be safe.
I definitely will. Always safe, Unc. You too. I appreciate this platform and what you're doing for veterans.
Right. Yeah, thank you too.
You're welcome. Peace.
So guys, all right. So we just had a little extended version of my update, but I wanted to give you some insight of what and how I got it's a personal stake as well. What's going on with me as far as when it comes to military sexual assault and harassment, and I have my own family, my own niece actually experienced it. So it's real because it's not made up, it's not fake. We got to do something about it, and I'm in it. I'm in it to win it. So all right. So I want to give real quick out there. We got a member. We got a couple new members, but I wanted to just announce Alfreda Smalls. She's a sergeant in National Guard. She joined the Federal Veterans Council Veterans Facebook group, which is full of mental health providers and dependents of mental health providers. So we got another employment. So we're growing, and I hope to see you on that podcast. Please like the page, share it. So the more people know that I see that, I know they're interested in what's going on, and I can tell you the thing. I also want to give a quick shout out to one of our sponsors that was here on Tuesday, Enrique Agosta Gonzalez from the Triad Leadership Solutions. Thank you for our sponsorship, and you'll have something as well as we keep moving on. Until then, guys, this is Tony Williams from Veterans Council and Veterans. This is your update. See you then.